A very good evening and welcome to Prime TV News, coming to you live and direct from the Prime TV studios with me, Abrar Abid. Now, before we go into our stories in detail, let's take a look at our headlines. The government decides to conduct the 72nd National Day ceremony under the theme A Secured Nation, a Prosperous Country. GMOA says they have decided to hand over more than 30 files on cases related to former Minister Rajitha Senaratne to the President. Minister Vimal Veeravansa says that the foreign businessmen will not be allowed to invade the local beauty culture market. The Sinhal organization reveals that the previous government has committed a huge tax fraud on the country by re-exporting ethanol. Australia deploys troops to help tackle raging bushfires across the country. In our lead story, the government has decided to conduct the 72nd National Day ceremony under the theme A Secured Nation, a Prosperous Country. A special discussion in this regard took place under the patronage of Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa at the Temple Trees.
Attention was paid during the discussion to reduce the number of participants at the National Day ceremony only by 30% and only to use cultural items suitable at the event. The Prime Minister requested to hoist a national flag at each house and to plant a sapling on the Independence Day. It was decided to give permission to Veera Podujana Foundation, which is a collective of persons who have saved lives of others, risking their own lives, to join the ceremony. The Prime Minister said that rehearsals, directing traffic and ensuring security near the area of ceremony should be conducted without causing hardships to the public. A group of people including ministers Chama Rajapaksa, Dinesh Gunawardena, Janaka Bandar Thennakoon, Dallas Alahaperuma, Pavitra Waniarachi, Mahinda Amaravira, Mahinda Samarasinghe, high-ranking military and police officers and minister secretaries were present at the discussion.
Secretary to the Government Medical Officers Association, Dr. Harita Aludge, says that although complaints were lodged against former Health Minister Rajitha Senaratne during the time of the previous government, no fruitful actions were taken about the complaints. Dr. Harita Aludge said that they have submitted enough details to 11 places during the past 4.5 years as to why Rajitha Senaratne should be considered a respondent to the harm caused to the general public of the country. He said that it is unfortunate that none of those places have given a positive response. He said that enough accusations have been levelled against former Minister Rajitha Senaratne for the harm caused to the health of the public. He pointed out that the malpractice committed at the Neville Fernanda Hospital runs into billions of rupees. Dr. Aludge said that former Minister Senaratne should take total responsibility as the person who made the cabinet submissions. Minister Vimal Veeravansa says that the foreign businessmen will not be allowed to invade the local beauty culture market. He said that the government will intervene to protect the local businessmen engaged in beauty culture trade. He said this during a meeting with a group of beauty culture and hairdressers. Minister Vimal Veeravansa said that there are 8 foreign beauty salons that are being operated on the permits given by the Board of Investment. He said that there are reports that the number is going to increase up to 700. He said that more than 400,000 Sri Lankans are engaged in beauty culture and hairdressing industry. He said that the people engaged in the industry proposed to set up a state institution which is responsible for them, and they accepted the proposal. In more news at home, the Sinhal organization points out that the previous government has committed a huge tax fraud on the country by re-exporting ethanol. Organizer of the movement, Pradeep Sanjeeva Pereira, said that the previous government even changed the regulations in this regard. Organizer of the Sinhal organization, Pradeep Sanjeeva Pereira, said that the product ethanol was maintained as a racket by the previous government. He said that the previous government has introduced regulations to re-export ethanol. He said that the methodology should be introduced to get revenue denied to the government under the pretext of re-exporting ethanol. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa arrived at Kurunegala, Dematamaluwa Historic Potgul Viharaya and Bauddhaloka Vidyayathana Pirivan Mahaviharaya and received blessings.
Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa arrived at Dematamaluwa Historic Potgul Vihara and took part in religious practices. He called over on the chief monk of Dikwehera Dematamalu temples and Wayamba province chief Sanganayaka, Venerable Rakavasri Jinaratana Thera, and received his blessings. Meanwhile, Mrs. World 2019 Caroline Jury met Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa at the temple trees. She informed the Prime Minister about the difficulties she faced when she was preparing for Mrs. World pageant. Caroline Jury's husband, Nishanta Deepal, her daughter, were present on the occasion. The Prime Minister handed over the letter of appointment at the temple trees to Renuka Pereira, who was appointed as the new chairman of the Housing Development Authority. Renuka Pereira is a former member of parliament and the administrative secretary of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa paid his last respects to the Adunayaka of the Udarata Amarapura Nikaya, Venerable Dr. Pallevela Sarada Thera. The Prime Minister went to Kalaniyan Manilwatha temple and paid his last respect to Venerable Sarada Thera. Thereafter, he arrived at the Kalaniya Rajamaha Vihara and met chief monk of the temple, Venerable Professor Kollupitiye Mahinda Sangarakita Thera. They discussed about the procession of the Kalaniya Rajamaha Vihara, which is scheduled to be held on the 8th and 9th of this month.
In more news at home, investigations are being conducted about the plane crash which led to a loss of 4 lives of the Air Force. The government analyst inspected the scene of the accident today.
The Y-12 Air Force aircraft crashed at Icepila area of Haputale Tampapilla Mawata. Pilot of the aircraft Buddhi Vibadda, co-pilot squadron leader Lankapura Kulatunga, leading airman L.A.C. Hettiarachi and Sergeant D.W. Kumara lost their lives in the crash. The remains of the 4 deceased were removed from the area after preliminary investigations into the incident. The bodies were taken to Badula General Hospital and post-mortems were conducted there. Mandaravila Magistrate Kirti Kumburuhena ordered to conduct the post-mortems after conducting preliminary magistrate inquiries at the scene of the crash. Chief Judicial Medical Officer of the Badula General Hospital, Consultant Dr. P.W.C.L.S. Waduge, conducted the post-mortem examination. Thereafter, the bodies of the 4 Air Force personnel were handed over to their families this afternoon. Meanwhile, the government analyst also inspected the scene of the crash. The Bandaravila Magistrate Court ordered 5 parties to submit details to the court about the crash. Accordingly, the government analyst, Sri Lanka Air Force, the Med Department, Judicial Medical Officer of the Badulla General Hospital and the Survey Department were ordered to submit details to the court. The committee appointed by the Air Force Commander to look into the crash is expected to hand over their report to the Air Force Commander soon.
A sluice gate of the Udavalava Reservoir has been opened. The water capacity of Udavalava Reservoir is 217,000 acre-feet. At present, it has increased to 218,483 acre-feet. Therefore, one sluice gate of the reservoir has been opened. Engineer in charge of the Udavalava Reservoir has requested the people in low-lying areas to be vigilant. In more local news, people in the Epavala Yoda Ala village were facing hardships for a long time due to submerging of many roads during the rainy season. Minister Duminda Disanaika instructed the officials to take immediate solutions to the problem. The minister gave the instructions when he went to the village to look into the problems of the villagers. The minister instructed to construct a drainage system and to build culverts to drain out the water in the village. He said that necessary allocations will be provided soon. More than 100 families are living in the village. A group of people, including Mahavali and archaeology officials, are present on the occasion. 494 unemployed graduates and diploma holders were given teaching appointments at the auditorium of the Sabaragamuwa Provincial Council. The graduates and diploma holders were given teaching appointments according to the policies of the new government. Accordingly, teachers were recruited to science, English, biosystem technology, chemistry, physical science, bioscience, accounts, economics, Sinhala language and literature, business and accounts, drama and performing arts. Information Technology, Communication and Media Studies, State Minister W.D.J. Senaviratne, Janaka Wakkumbara and Sabaragamu Province Governor Tikiriko Bakkaduwa were present on the occasion. In more news at home, the local government forum of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna says that the alliance led by the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna will obtain a 2/3 majority at the forthcoming general election. They said this during a media briefing at the party headquarters on Nelum Mawatha. Udeni Atukorala of Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna Local Government Forum said that no government has given 2 million rupees each to a Grama Seva division. He said that the people in the village should decide on the development project to be conducted. He added that other party members have pledged their support to the government at the forthcoming election. Expressing his views, Chairman of the Biyagama Pradesha Sabha Ananda Ganepola said that the present president has ended the era where the roads were closed when public representatives were travelling. In more news at home, people in the area complained that the visitors who were coming to view the 4 waterfalls at Avissavela Sitavaka Pradesha Sabha area are polluting the waterfalls. The 4 waterfalls are Kumari Alla, Ranmudu Alla, Uda Alla and Tunmodara Alla. A large number of people are arriving daily to view the waterfalls. People in the area said the groups who are arriving pollute the area by dropping polythene, plastic bottles and liquor bottles in the environment. They said that although the people and Hangwala police took measures recently to clean the environment, those beautiful places become polluted again due to the activities of the visitors. And that is all the news for today. Do join us again tomorrow for the very latest. For the Prime TV News team, I am Abrar Abid. A very good evening and take care.